This is Finn. He's 5 years old.
Hi, Ben.
He's a mixed breed. They said he's very smart, but he does not listen. He knows his commands, he just doesn't listen. He has trained them, this is their words, to bark when he needs something. So bark when he's bored, bark when he needs to go out, bark at everything. They don't have him off leash because they're, no control. He jumps. Major goals: stop barking, listen to commands, stop jumping, walk nicely.
Okay.
No major issues. They said he plays a little rough with other dogs and doesn't take social cues. So they introduced him to Andy, who had to keep correcting him to get him to stop playing too rough with her.
Okay. So he trained them. They said?
Yes, that's what they said.
Okay, it is violent. It does make a lot of noise. Finn, nice to see you, Finn. So top goals is to obviously listen. That's
Control.
obviously.
Yeah.
But it's interesting they say to stop barking.
Stop
if that's in the top
barking.
3, then we know it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
Then we know it's bad.
Yeah.
So, and he's barking. He's demand barking.
Demand
so
barking.
Distinguish that. He's saying, "Hey, you, get up and do this," right?
Yes.
And then, so the thing is the barking becomes so annoying because he's learned how to really turn the frequency up. You can tell that some people have done some ignoring, and then he was like, "Oh, I gotta turn this up." And turning it up works. So now he doesn't even bother going low. He just gets into this like, complaining.
He's like, wait, what did you just say? That's my language.
Okay, so obviously he was going nuts, and we let it go for a second, but I can't do that in this house. This is first of all, my neighbors wouldn't appreciate it, and neither would any of the other dogs, and it would just cause chaos. So I corrected the bark. He knew exactly what he was being corrected for. So that means he knows that nobody likes this at home. Pretty high up on the totem pole, if he can look at his subordinates and say, "Hey, make me a sandwich. Make me a sandwich now." If he can do that, he's up here, right? So what's going to happen, it's already started. There's a shift in hierarchy. That's why you see him the way he is right now. He goes, "What do I do here?" Because now he has to learn to take a different position in the pack, which is, take orders, be a follower, leader-follower, flipping it. He's the leader of humans, so he's probably got a level of confidence. The thing he's got going for him so far is he seems like a nice little guy.
Yeah.
But we'll see what the brain does.
This is huge.
This is huge. This is good boy stuff.
Down is a very submissive position,
Yes.
and it's not very common for dogs to offer that right in the first session.
He's 5, so he's been around the block. This could have went one of 2 ways. He could have been like, he could really fight for the position, or he could be like, I can just see already with him that he was like, I've never been spoken to like that.
Yeah.
I could just see it. So he's just like processing now. He knows what to do though. His instincts are kicking in. He's like, I just need to do what I think this guy likes, which is following. He's going to learn that's the place to live in. All right. You have to be a follower in a pack. And the cool thing is dogs can do this. They can become followers to humans just like they can with other dogs. But what a follower is not allowed to do is start telling me what to do. Start giving me demands. That doesn't work that way. It goes the other way. So if I'm leading and he tries to demand me, I'm going to tell him to knock it off. If he does it again, he's going to get corrected. Firm enough for him to say, I don't want to do that again. And that is how the world goes around. And that's what's going to create him going from the other mentality of literally pulling on me to do something for him to waiting. Look, waiting, watching. What are we doing next? Okay? All right, so how long has he been here? 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay? We had 2 interactions. One where I was saying hi to him, petting on him. The second one, I corrected him for the crazy, I don't know if you can call that barking.
Opera singing.
It was, he's perfected the art of being super annoying and disruptive so that you will do
Yes, you, buddy.
And guess what? Who's got to get it right? Because maybe you don't understand what he's saying. He's like, no, I want this thing. Can you imagine catering?
Well, he was telling you, hey, let me off this tie back, buddy.
Oh yeah, he was saying, and then open this door.
Open that door.
Then,
Yep.
Yeah. So satisfy me, and then when I'm sleeping, you can catch a little break. But when I wake up,
It looks like he's listening to your lecture. He has no idea what you're saying.
That's it. I mean, he's being a good boy.
Yeah, he
Okay,
is.
Finn, you're a good boy. Break.
See, he doesn't know what break means, so we're teaching him, right? So the hand signal, and then paired with encouraging him to leave, not even the command we put him in, but just leave the stay command.
God, he's so good looking. He's pretty.
I told his owners I really do have a soft spot for tan mutts.
He's got that eyeliner, you know?
Because they remind me of the All Dogs Go to Heaven guy.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
He's so cute.
Yeah, so you see how he's behaving around me?
Yeah.
He's a little walking on eggshells, which is natural from this type of interaction that we just had. Especially because it was his first one.
Yep.
And he's 5.
And he's figuring out what behaviors are acceptable and what are not.
That's this. But once he, 3-4 days of living with me, he knows all the boundaries, he knows what not to do, he knows what to do. That little walking on eggshells goes away.
I explain it like this. If you get a ticket at a red light camera,
Right.
you're going to be cautious the next time you drive through.
Right.
You're going to pay attention.
Yeah.
That's all it does. Is bring
Now we're
awareness.
capitalizing on that frame of mind, and we're saying, that's how I want you to associate me, as a bit of an authority figure.
Yeah.
However, I also am, very easygoing, and
Yep.
it's awesome to live with me, but don't push these boundaries.
Yep.
So then the dog figures it out. It's very natural for them to live this way. They're used to it. They're very pack oriented. They're relationship based. So you can absolutely set a boundary. If the dog fucks with a boundary, you can give it a proper correction. And the dog, if you do it right, it's like the dog just stops messing with that boundary. Here and there, if they go to play with it a little bit, just keep that maintenance of it, right? By correcting. So, but this is the thing. The big thing is this guy's going to do what every dog here does. They take a shift in hierarchy, which is like a tough pill to swallow for some dogs if they've been living like high on the hog for 5 years, half a decade, like this guy. And now he just, he's in a room where he's like, okay, there's real consequences. What do I do and what do I don't do? That's a beautiful state for me to say, let me show you. Instead of begging him in the other state to pay attention. That ain't going anywhere, right? So, we're being honest with him, we're being natural with him, and then we're going to take and kind of like take him and domesticate him a little further, right? I have a feeling this guy's already got some pretty nice genetics. We are going to test it anyway with the other dogs once I get some training in. Let's start with the recall and see how much he's willing to listen to me now that he's calmed down. I see him open his ears, he's listening, he's paying attention.
This is beautiful.
And the brain's open, so he's documenting this session because I snapped him out of that wild state with a correction. His brain is open to take in all the information so it understands the situation, right? Because there's actual aversive consequences if he oversteps the boundary or something, right? Which is the real world, which opens the brain to remember what happens here. So I have a unique opportunity, a window of time to teach him what I like and what I don't like. And guess what? It sticks really good because, like I said, he's really paying attention because we've introduced an aversive, right? Which is simply no and a correction on the e-collar. Okay, here we go. This is the first time I'm doing this with him. Finn, come here.
Teaching him what the tone means.
Yay!
So right now he doesn't know, but we're giving him all the answers. We're encouraging, we're using hand movements, we're using words he's probably heard before. Come here, come. Okay?
Come here, Finn.
Stim is being used silently.
Good.
So as he moves towards Josh, it's going down. If he goes the opposite way, it goes up. When he gets into his bubble, it turns off. That is so clear. Oh, good job, buddy.
Just so it's clear, Finn is very smart, like they said, and very smart dogs. This is not even difficult at all. So he picked up within the first rep that coming to me turns it off. But the second rep, and I imagine maybe even the third rep, I don't know, we'll see. He then realized it was a game of control. And this is what it's all about. He then realized that, wait a minute, I don't want to come to you because I'm giving up to control. And I think deep down we all can feel this one word we call attitude. It's not that the dog doesn't know what you're saying, it's that they don't want you to control them, right? They want to take that position, which again, Julie said, is natural within a pack so that obviously the dogs with the best genetics can procreate and get access to all the resources. So it's nature's way of figuring that out. So naturally they don't want to give it up. But the cool thing is if you earn it, and if you show them, if you prove to them, I should say, they will happily be your follower. Right? And when they're doing so, the attitude gets ditched. So it's not a thing about knowledge, does he know what I'm saying? It's does he want to follow me or not? Okay? Let's go again here.
Nice work.
It's amazing.
Good job.
Amazing. Now, the interesting thing about this technique is sometimes dogs will look like this and they will It's actually just my whole style of training in the beginning, because they'll look like they're walking on eggshells, and that'll deter people from using, I think, this, because it doesn't look as pretty right now as if I were to be in exchange with something high value like a game of tug or something. But we're not talking about the recall, we're not talking about the command, we're talking about our relationship dynamic. And the thing that's important with a dog, and everybody knows this, do you listen to me when you don't want to?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the core of the relationship.
Yes.
And that's why that's why this type of training is popular, okay? And that's what, like, dog whispering, what I learned it from that's what that leans on heavily, is relationship. Making sure you're maintaining the proper hierarchy so that the dog, because guess what, if a dog's locked into a follower, they're listening. They're listening. I know it sounds like it's impossible, but your dog will actually choose to listen to you. But you have to prove it to them through certain experiences that you are a leader, right? And they have to test the boundary, and you have to, you have to complete that conversation properly, right? And we have a series of kind of things that we do with each dog to create a follower. Once they see you a certain way, that's when they start to listen. And that's when you say, man, that feels like a great dog. Why? Because the attitude is removed. And the attitude is simply, they want control.
Every time he walks away, he's recalled again. So that's how we're creating the recall and the stay, but also softening the mind. Okay?
Good.
Wow, good boy.
Some dogs will test the boundary a little bit and get a firm correction. They'll notice the rules that if I go further away, it'll turn up in pressure. Or if I stop trying to solve the puzzle, it'll turn up in pressure. But they'll wait to see how bad it gets because they want that control. And some dogs, it's going to be like a mild correction, and they're going to say that's motivation enough, and I'm not going to mess with it anymore. Other dogs are going to push it until it literally gets to the point where they'll bark and they'll go into this unstable place, and then you have to know what to do. This is why it's professional. And this is also the reason why I think this technique is overlooked by people, is because it can get quote unquote messy, which is not getting messy. It's not getting messy in the sense that the dog doesn't know what's going on. It's getting messy in the sense that this style allows the dog to throw a temper tantrum. It allows them to get it out. They're frustrated that they just realize that you have control and they're willing to fight for it. That's as natural as can be. If I don't avoid that, like most, I think most would try to avoid that. But if you go through the fight and in the end you're still getting the dog to follow you, guess what? The next day they're less likely to do that fight because that took a lot of energy and it was much easier just to follow you because you're a pretty good guy and you're just asking them to let's go.
That's a ticket to freedom.
And then a week down the road, the dog becomes your follower. You bump into boundaries. If a dog wants to fight about it, they will and can in a program like this are allowed to express like that. I'm just going to correct back. I know how to do it safely, as safe as I can possibly be. And so, at the end, it's very natural because that's how dogs do it with each other. So the end is a dog who has a state who's very stable and feels very experienced and just feels like a good companion because we developed and as natural as we could. We were using e-collars and this is a training program, but we're trying to keep that model that's already in nature because I do believe that gives you the best follower. It gives you the best version of the dog. If there's still bites under the hood, meaning if you push a dog in a certain way, they're going to give you attitude, possibly bite you, challenge you, not listen, or even just the other way, fearful. If you push them, if you push them just a little bit, they get too fearful, they start to go into fight or flight. If we avoid all that, we teach them the commands, big deal, right? They know how to do the 5 commands. They can learn that very easily if they're paying attention. But do we have a stable mind? And to get a stable mind, we need a follower. And to get a follower, we need submission. Mm-hmm. Right? Submitting to our authority. Choosing to. And the only way they can choose to is if it's proven to them. And see, I'm not holding him here. He's allowed to walk away. But he's going to learn that when I release him, he can walk away without consequences. Right? He's going to learn how to be a follower. Look. Come here, Finn.
Nice work. He's doing great.
He's doing great. And now I'm going to give him a little work.
For 5 years old?
Very proud of you, Finn. Very proud of you. And he's gorgeous. So, let me tell you
so handsome.
You got to know when you get something like this, and he's going to build up and he's going to look confident by the end of this. This was our first time together. Good boy.
Nice.
Yes. I think, we'll see. We got more tests to do with the other dogs areas, but so far I feel like we got some pretty good genetics here, which is like, if you get that, you say your prayers because not everybody gets that. Some people get dogs that are a liability right from the gate, and they're always kind of going to be, you know, good. So if he's this good with the other dogs as he is with me, we got ourselves a pretty good thing going on. Come on, big guy.
He wants to jump over this thing.
Yeah.
But that's cute though. It's like, hey, you want to jump over this thing and come up the stairs, but you're asking to be recalled instead, and you listen to the recall. This simulates anything he wants, and you're recalling him away from.
That's great. That is the number one conversation that everybody struggles with. You're asking the dog to do something, they say, no thank you, I'd rather do something else. So, exactly, you're simulating anything. It's just he wants this, you're asking to do the opposite.
Yeah.
We're going after that right in the beginning. He just learned this recall minutes ago, right? That's the association I want it to be. Listen to avoid the consequence. And then it just becomes, it just becomes normal for him to listen once we get it long enough. Good. Good boy. That was pretty good. It's pretty good. He knew what I was saying, he didn't listen, I corrected, he came to me. Good. Now we have a device to use to go out in the world and show him what not to do, okay? Good, and that includes barking. Finn? Great.
Nice work.
Great. Good.
You want Reggie?
Rig. Come on. Let's go. Rig, come on. Let's go. Other way. Get out of here. There's a different reaction, different response when you realize it's a male.
It's a male dominant dog.
Yeah, you see the response is way different. Watch this. I can offer protection. Izzy out. Free. Good, good. Big, free. Good boy. Good boy. Come here, bud.
Nice work. Oh, that was great. Now he's learning that Josh can keep all the other annoying dogs away from him.
That's the appreciation. You see the appreciation, Matt?
Yes.
He's like, oh, this guy can control those guys. Okay, he's pretty relevant. So I can control him, but I can control the other dogs. What's that add up into in his mind? Leader, right? So I'm sealing the deal from day one. I'm trying to get that. Let him know who I am around here. Let him have choices. And then, you know, he's gonna do the old fuck around, find out, right? We talked about that, bumping into boundaries. Week down the road, we got ourselves a nice follower, and we can start tightening up things to make him a good companion. Great responses today. Come on. You're doing great.
Nice work.
Wonderful.
Good job.
Good job. That's hard to do. Good boy. That's good. You did that. Now watch this. Ready?
Nice.
Okay. Look, this is good. You see, he felt me quiet down that room and then control when they went that. This all adds up to the way you look. You can't get his eyes off. He's like, that's the one. That's the guy. He's the one running the show. So then it's going to be easier for me to teach him what not to do and what to do, without big fights and big crazy stuff. Because we're going to prove it to him in these situations. If there's a big fight, it comes out usually in this situation.
He chooses to be right in your circle. Nice work.
Good. Yeah, we got protection here, right? And then I'm gonna start feeding him. I'm gonna start letting him out. Look, we're gonna start hiking.
Calling for attention.
Because once he can recall, he can go off leash. Listen, he's gonna be very happy, right? But we had to start with tough love. We had to let him know, we can't live with you, dude, like that. I mean, you're driving your owners bonkers, but I'm surprised they put up with it for as long as they did, you know? So, but look at what's good in here, though. You see a good companion just waiting to be shaped, all right? Good boy. Good boy. That's my guy. You guys want to go outside now? Yes, I see it. I feel it. Yeah, it creates a bond, right? Because this is his pack now. Good. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're very proud. What a nice guy. Okay, ready?
work.